Hello, welcome to my channel Making Crafts. Today I am working on Roxy's weekly challenge, and this week we're going to be using Vellum again. And for her challenge, for Rachel, she used postcards, but I don't have any really pretty postcards, so I'm going to be using some of these collage sheets that I have made up, and so I'm just going to cut them into postcard sizes to do this project. And so I have two that I've already cut out. One is large and one's a little smaller, and I'm just going to cut these different sizes and make myself some kind of postcard size pieces to use for this challenge. And so these will still work, I think, just as good. And it'll have some decorative, I'm not having trouble cutting that one. And then it'll have some decorative on the one side, and then we'll have journaling spots on the back side. So let's just see here. That's a good size. And then maybe we turn this one, let me straighten that edge up. These are going to be a little crooked since I did make them out of book pages, so I'm going to have to straighten the edges quite a bit. Let me try to line it up here. And then see if I can straighten it up any. Get that one there. Gonna be a little hard. Maybe we get it squared up just a little. This one's going to be tinier than I planned, but that's okay. There we have that one. So we got two small ones there. And then I'm going to cut some from this one. This one's more of a bird-themed one. So I'm just going to, and I'm not really sure the size of postcards. I probably should have looked that up ahead of time. But I'm just going to cut eyeball that I think I want. And I used some different glue on these, so they are really tough to cut into. I'm not sure. It's got a lot of layers, but also I used glue that I don't normally, I was trying out a different glue, and so it made it more wrinkled look, and I wasn't as crazy about it, so I don't use that one anymore for my collages, but it'd be a good little size. And then I'll take one from, let's see, from here, and I think this will be plenty to start out with, since we do have to sew, and I do have to, let me just see where I'm going to get that from. We've got to sew these, and we've got to glue, so there's going to be a lot of processes here, so I don't need to do too many. I don't need to cut out too many, I don't think. So that'll be good. Maybe I can cut that in half. I don't know if that's going to be big enough to make two or not. If not, I will use the leftovers. Yeah, I'll definitely use the leftovers for tags and other projects, so it's no big deal. So that's that one. Let's see, I have 1, 2, 3, I have 6. So that's plenty to get started with. So let's see here. Put that in my scrap bowl. Scrap basket, I mean. Okay. So I'm going to also, a lot of mine's different from hers because I just didn't have all the same things that she has. So she also used some packaging, some clear, not acetate, I guess you'd say. Here's just some clear packaging that she had, and I don't have any of that saved up, so I'm just going to be using off of my roll of acetate today. And so I'm just going to be cutting it and cutting it to the length that I need and adding these as my pockets. So I think it'll work just as good because it's clear, and so it should work the same. The pockets will be a little stiffer, but I don't think that's going to be a problem. Packaging is a great way to go because you could be reusing, you know, your leftovers from things instead of just putting in the trash. But I hadn't saved any packaging, so I'm just going to use this acetate. So let me see. First one needs to be here. I'm just going to cut that off. And then that's for that one. And then this one, they're all different sizes, so I'm just going to cut the acetate to match it. And this one right here. I think I did cut that one large. I'll trim it down. And then, oops, I got two sticking out there. We'll trim that one up. Well, I got it right here because I see a little crooked spot. And you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to start my timer, so let me get my timer started. The only reminder I had was that my iPad was falling, where I was using that as my timer, and I had it set up to start the timer, just never hit start. So now I've got it started for my 45 minutes. So now let's see. Okay. That one I just cut would fit that one. So let's just go right here. And let's see here. This one is going to be a little bit over 6 inches, so just cut that, and then we can trim the excess off once I get it glued on. So that'll be enough to get us started. And if I need a few more, I'll cut a few more. So let's start with just one of these. And we're going to take, and I think since this is really plain, I want to add something to the front of it to decorate it up before I add the pockets, so the pockets can go over top of the decoration. So I have some rolls of, it's like washi tape, but it's also looks like stamps. And I thought some of that may look good on some of these. And then I've got other things as well that I can put on here. Let me see. I've got some different birds cut out and maybe some butterflies. Just have to look and see what I have. Let's see here. Here's a big butterfly. And here's an even larger one. That might be pretty. And then put the pockets over it. So let me find my glue. And let's see here. We'll stick this. Actually, I'm going to stick the butterfly on with this glue. Since it has those little antennas, this one will be easier to glue the antennas with because it comes out thinner if I can get it to come out. Let me see there. I haven't cleaned it in a while. There we go. So that'll give those antennas really good since it's such a small little nozzle. The other one's got a bigger nozzle, so it would have gobbed it on more, made it too much. So I'm just going around the outside of this butterfly some, because we're also going to be sewing pockets over it, so it will stay on. So I'm trying to use up my scraps anyway, so this was a scrap left over from a mixed media piece that I did the other day, and I'd cut this out. And I didn't use this one, so I think that would be pretty on there. And let's go ahead and decorate. Let's decorate this one up as well. And I have some birds, and since this one doesn't have any birds on it, but the paper was bird themed, the whole collage was, maybe I'll go with birds on this one. That one's too big. Just seeing if there's anything else. I like this little guy. So I think I'm just going to put him right there in the center. That'll give some interest to this one. And these challenges are so much fun. I know I say this every week, but I enjoy every one of her challenges. I look forward to Mondays to when she uploads so I can watch her challenge to see what this week's challenge is going to be. And so it just takes me several days to get around to actually filming, because I went ahead and started getting my supplies together for this several days ago, but finding the time, like I said before, 45 minutes and 45 minutes of quiet in my house that I don't edit out any of the crazy noises and stuff. It takes a while to find time to do that everybody's going to be busy or quiet for me while I do this. So I have to find the time, and so it varies each week what day of the week is actually going to work for it. So this week I have had this laying on my desk again, and I just have been waiting for the chance. Just wondering, just to add a little interest to this. And then what else do I have that I could add that would maybe that, Or I could turn it like this. I'm just adding some decoration to them, just to add just a little bit something else. The collage is pretty, but I just want sort of a focal point on the front of each one so I just want to add something as a focal point for the pockets to be sewn over top of. So let's just decorate a few, and then I'll go ahead and actually I probably should decorate them all and then glue the pockets on. That way I can sew them all at the same time. And so this one has a lot of stamping on it. I'm not sure that I want to add anything because this is kind of like focal points for the stamping. Let me see if there's anything that will get added. No, I think I'm gonna leave that one as is. And then I've got one more, so yeah, I can get them all decorated up. This one, just a big butterfly there would be pretty. Or this may be too big. This bird. I wonder though if I cut the leaves off just a little, how that would look. Just looking to see. So I think I'll just add this bird, and then I'm just going to trim the flower, the little leaf off some. And so then we can get to adding the pockets. Oop, 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 oop. About to make a mess with my glue. I laid it in the wrong spot. Let me pick that back up real quick. It says sliding it around. Let's see where I want this little bird. Let's see here. I think that'll be good. Didn't get enough right there on his little wing. Kind of add that down. Then we just press it all down. And these images, I think, came from Mary's Small Art. I'm thinking this was her birds. I know the butterfly did, but I'm really thinking that the birds did as well. Okay, so now I want to go ahead and start adding the pockets. So let's just take this one. And we're just going to make a small little pocket here. And I'm going to try to just cut it as straight as I can, and I may need to use my paper trimmer for that. I may not can get it straight with scissors. It does want to curl up quite a bit. Okay. That'll be good, I think. It's hard to see it. It's hard to see what you're cutting. Okay, there we go. I think I may need a new blade in my paper trimmer. I seem to have to keep going back and forth with it. Okay, so let's just add this pocket, and these little things pick up so much dust when you're just, I guess, I don't know what is on my table dusty, but it just picks it up. Let's see here. So we're going to put that little pocket there. And what I'm going to do is just add glue, and I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac because I don't want to gum up my needle on my, so here's the Fabri-Tac. I don't want to gum up my needle on my sewing machine since we're going to sew these on. So, excuse me. So what I'm going to do is just use it, and I'm just going to glue down the two sides. I'm not going to worry about gluing across the bottom. I'm going to sew across the bottom, but there I don't have to glue across it because, let me get the strings real quick, because this will be enough to hold it down for me to get to the sewing machine and sew it. And so that's what I like to do with the acetate. I don't glue because it does show through the acetate. And so it doesn't show once it's good and dry and you sew it, the sewing pretty much hides it all out. But I don't like to add it across the bottom because if I'm just going to sew it around, I don't need that much glue. And so let me get my other little pocket cut out. See how much more time I have. Make sure I'm doing good on time. So let's see here. Cut this one. I'm just going to cut small little pockets. Okay. So we're just going to add this one. I need enough gap so that you can stick things in the pocket, and then up here you need a pretty good gap. So I may have to trim this one down just a little bit more. Since this postcard is going to be so small, the pockets are going to have to be small. But these things will be good in a journal to hold ephemera and different things. Okay. Because it's nice to include some ephemera in a journal that you're giving away or that somebody's going to receive, because that way they can have some items already ready to go to decorate up their new journal. So that's what I'm going to use these for, to put some different ephemera in, so that whoever gets the journal that I'm making would have some little things to get started with. Especially if you're giving it to somebody who doesn't do a lot of making junk journals and doing junk journals, they're not going to have a lot of ephemera, so it'd be nice to include some in the journal. So I'm just making sure that's on. Oop, keep sliding. Make sure that's on pretty straight. And so there we go. And then we'll put a few more on. Let's try this one, because I had a extra piece here left over. So let me cut just a few for it, for this one. There we go. It is so hard to see this on this trimmer. Gotta be very careful so I don't cut it too crooked, which is not going to matter because it's not going to show up that much if it's crooked. But let's see. Put that one there. And it's, oops, I just threw that one around. So cut just another one off here. Let's see here. And cut. It'll fit this one. That's going to be too small for that one and that one, but it will fit this one, so I can cut a few. So how is your week going? Have you been working on any projects this week? Let's see, have I been working on anything? I don't think I've worked on any projects this week. I did do, I'll take that back. I did some collaging earlier in the week, and then I turned those into more little flips, like we did those little flip journal where you have the fabric on the edge that we made in Roxy's Weekly Challenge several weeks ago. I made more of those, and I think I did a little bit of stamping, just playing around with some collages, but I think that's about it for this week. I didn't really make any big projects since last weekend. Last weekend I created an ephemera holder using one of my design team papers, so I did upload that this week. That was a project I've been wanting to do for a while, and I completed that one. And I'm trying to think what else. I think last weekend's when I worked on the other challenge. I think that's when I finally got around to time to work on it. I can't remember now. So I really haven't worked on anything major this week. So I plan on this weekend getting a bunch of things, working on a bunch of things. I've got several projects that I want to work on. I still have a journal that I need to finish, and I've got a few other little things I want to make. So hopefully I'll get to those this weekend, but this weekend's going to be a busy weekend. This is Mother's Day weekend, so I may not get as much done as I have planned on doing. My plans may change because I don't have as many days to craft this weekend. So that will kind of change some of my time of crafting, because normally I like to get a lot of my filming and crafting done on Saturday and Sunday, and it's Friday today. So I'm working today on it, and then I will, let me see if those are going to be too small. I think they are going to be too, let me see though, there'd be a good gap between them. I think that'd be good. So I'm going to be a little bit busier, so I don't know how much I'll get done, but I do like to film them Saturday and Sunday. If I can find the time and the house is quiet enough. Today my little buddy is sitting behind me, my youngest, and you can hear him from time to time. But he's got headphones on right now watching something, so I thought if I keep him quiet for 45 minutes, then we're going to get up and do some things after I finish this one. So can't expect him to be quite too long. He is definitely all boy. He's always into something. So this one I want bigger pockets, so I'm just going to have to cut. I want them a little wider. Let me see here. Trying to see this. My other project this past weekend, the video that I put up, you'll have to check it out. It's using this same acetate for those, and so I thought it was neat when she put her video up on Monday that we were still going to be using something like acetate again. So I already had mine out, and so it was ready to go. I think that's going to be good for that one. Why don't I go ahead? I'm going to go ahead and cut the acetate for this one as well. I'm trying to see here, or is this one here? Maybe this will fit here. Yes, that'd be good. It's picked up some scrap paper on it. So I'm going to make those pockets. Since it's taller, I can make them a little deeper pockets for it. So I think that'll be perfect. And then I need one more piece of acetate and make these. Let me see here. I'm just going to eyeball how wide this one is. And I better check my time. I may not have time to complete all of these in one video, so I may have to in 45 minutes. So we may have to see if I can complete them in time. Because there's a few more things to do with this one, so I may have set my goals high when I chose this many pieces, but we will see. Just going to try. There we go. And let me cut this down to, maybe I just cut it in half. Since this one is so tall, it could have bigger pockets. Yes, that'd be perfect. Okay, put that out of the way now. And so now let's see here. These pockets are going to go right in here. And so far I haven't had any trouble with this glue gumming up my needle, so I think it'll be good and dry anyway by the time I get to sewing, I think. It dries pretty quickly. And let's see here, right here. These challenges are helping me build up quite a stash of things to put in my upcoming journals, to tuck in them. It's so nice to have something when you're making a journal that once you get all your pockets and stuff, your belly bands in and your pockets in, it's so nice to have these made up that you just tuck them in and go. So these are going to be great for that. I've just got to get more organized on how I'm going to store them. Since I'm getting so many, the way I was storing them, I don't have enough space for all the ones I've made up, or either I got to hurry up and make some journals up. Maybe if I hurry and make some more journals, I will, that's going to be too small. Too wide, I mean. But if I go ahead and make more journals, maybe I could use them all up. we are coming to the end of our school year where I homeschool the boys. So it is a busier time. At the end of the school year seems busier because we're trying to finish up all of our lessons, and also getting prepared for testing and all that. So making sure they're ready for their testing. Each year they have to test at the end of the year, and so kind of getting all that together. So I don't have as much time to craft right now. And then also my shop is pretty busy this time of year because we have Mother's Day and Father's Day, and since I sell, you know, jewelry and keychains and leather accessories and things like that, I sell things for moms and for dads. So I stay pretty busy this time of year, so that takes a lot of my time too. And that's what I did. That's right. That's what I did at the end of last week. That's why I was behind on getting my challenge done, is because I was working on those orders. And so I've gotten, you know, all those done because Mother's Day is this weekend. So all that has already been sent out. I had to get it all sent out by the beginning of the week. So I was pretty busy last week and this past weekend trying to get those things done. So, and now Father's Day will be coming up. Will be the next big holiday for my shop. So I'll have to probably take some time off of crafting in here to work in my shop on those items. But I enjoy it. It's still crafting. I still get to craft. It's just a different crafting. And I just don't film that form of crafting, but it's still a lot of fun. So I can't complain. I have a good job. I have a job that I enjoy. So I'm not going to complain about having work. Okay, so now I'm going to sew these. So I'm going to try to switch the camera over so that you can see me sewing, but I'm not going to promise that it's going to work. So I'll only know after I finish filming if it actually worked. So let's just try this real quick, and we'll switch over to the sewing machine. And so right now you're going to see the top of it. Hopefully you will see the side in just a second. Okay, so I finally just had to pause it. Well, I didn't pause the timer. I paused the video for the actual sewing because my boys came home from the store and my dogs went wild. So it took me about, let's see, there's 11 minutes left on my timer. So it probably took me, working on these, what was the time left before? I don't even remember now. It took me at least five minutes or so, maybe even longer than that to sew these. Maybe it took me 6 minutes. Maybe I got too many to do. But I'm going to just trim this off now, the plastic that sticks over the edge on some of them, and just trim my strings. So I'm not so sure I'm going to finish all of these in 45 minutes. I may have to just finish some of them later, but we'll see how far we can get. I want to get at least one done so you can see what it looks like, what we're making. So I'll have to finish at least one within this time. So the next step is we're going to add some paper to the back to make it a journaling spot. You just trimming up a little bit here, trimming off some of my strings and getting it all fixed up for the next step. Okay. Alrighty. So just get all that and put it in my basket. Just slide it right here. I don't want to lose my little bird there. Just put all this in my scrap basket, my trash basket. Okay, so now let's start with adding the journaling spot to the back, and then we'll add the vellum to the cards. So what I've done is just printed out. I'm not going to collage the back since the fronts are collaged. I am just going to add some of these pages that I printed out to the back, and they'll just make great journaling spots. So I'm just going to, I want the paper lines this way. So I'm just going to add glue to the back of these and then attach them to the paper. And I am going to use my Fabri-Tac since I will be going back and sewing the vellum on. So I want to be sure that I use glue that's not going to gum up my needle and mess up my sewing machine. So that's, just going to add this, kind of make a smooth layer so it doesn't have lumps showing through, which the threads are going to show through. So let's just do it right here. And I'm just bringing it in a little bit because there is white edges around my paper, and I don't want the white edges to be on my journaling card. So let's just put that one there and see if there's a small one that could fit. But then that's going to be, that'll still be fine. So I'm just going to add, because the lines do not have to go a certain way on the paper. You can still journal across them. Actually, I got this one all glued up, but would that one have fit? Because it is up and down. No, it wouldn't have. So let's just add this one. Okay, we just got to stay within the white edges and press down. Look on the other side and just press. Get it pressed down good. And you are going to see some of the stitching on the back side, but that's okay. That will be fine. So I'm going ahead and put those on there, and then let's put this one on this paper. Cut some of its strings off. And I missed quite a few of them. So now let me see for a second. Okay, this one does have white on the edges, so I think all of them has white on the edges. Don't think I've trimmed any of them out because my printer leaves white edges, so I have to trim mine out to get rid of them. So we just add it right here. Flip it over, smooth it out. And let's see, what other one do I want to do on this paper? Maybe like this. Yep, that'll go good. Go ahead and trim these off. And add it here. And I might can fit this one right there. I sure can. So that way I can cut them all out at one time if they're on one sheet. I thought about collaging the back of these, but then I thought since the front is collaged so much, I think I'll just leave the backs and just add paper to them plain to make them journaling spots. Okay, so let's just cut them all out. Press these down. Seem to be coming loose right there around where the sewing is, so I'll make sure I get that good and tight. Okay. It's surprising how much you can get done in 45 minutes when you set a timer like this and really stay focused on a project. It surprises me how much I can get accomplished. I think these are going to be very pretty in a journal. Just tucking them in a spot somewhere. I guess if you didn't put journaling paper on the back, you could use these as you could just glue them in with the pockets like this instead of tucking them somewhere. But I really like the idea of having a journaling card on the back of these. So let's just get those out of the way. And let's trim out this one as well. Okay. So I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and add the vellum to a few of them so I can have some completed before the end of the video. And then, because I don't think I'm going to be able to get all these done within the 45 minutes. So let's see. Let's see what we can do though. Okay, so we've got these. I'm going to definitely do a bird one because I have printed out. And so for the vellum today, I've printed out the floral, and it's from the same kit as last week, but it's just a different sheet. And then this is from a different kit, and I'm just going to link all these papers below. And then this one has birds on it, so this is the one, this is just vellum that I've printed on. And I'm just going to add this one here. So, just need to put a little snippet spot. Let me see, I think I want to trim around the white too, so don't want to have the white on it, so I think I'm just going to snip it right. Let me see here. Here. And so then I'll just trim it with my paper trimmer so I can be sure to get it straight. Let's see here. Just going to cut to here. And then cut it down the middle here. That way I can use the other side for another card. And cut the white off that my printer leaves. This is so pretty. It's got sheet music on it, and then it has the little bird on it. And so that one's going to be attached right there to the top. I think I might need to trim just a little off. Just a hair off. Let me see there. Yeah, I'm just going to trim just a little off the bottom so that it's not hanging over the end of it. So let's see, I think that'll be fine like that for that one. And I am so sorry for all that barking in the background, but I'm wondering if the mail carrier is here now because that's what it sounds like. That bark sounds like the mail carrier might be here. Okay. Just use a pen for this one. So I'm just going to snip it right here. So, trim it up right there. And then, where does it need to be cut? Right here. Okay. I think these are going to be beautiful. I love printing on vellum and using vellum, and I did finally order me. One of my subscribers asked me about vellum, where if you could buy it printed, and I had seen some from Tim Holtz, and I kept putting off getting it, and there went my timer, so I think my time is up. But I had from Tim Holtz, and I had put off getting it, but I finally ordered me some, so I'm going to see how that looks. It hasn't come in yet, but I'll see how that turns out as well. I'm going to finish making a few of these for you, and so I know I have failed my challenge, but let's just finish up. Let's finish up at least 2 of these before we stop. Let me see here. I think I want to finish up this one as well. So I'm just going to mark it here. Let's just finish up a couple so that you can see how they do come together, and then I can finish all of them later. So I'm going to take about that much off. Okay. So, the challenge is supposed to be something enjoyable, but it's okay if we fail, right? So let me do those 3 for you so you can see how they turn out. Because I think these are very pretty idea. I haven't made one yet, but I think it's completed a whole one yet, but I think it's such a pretty idea. So I'm going to finish it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add some glue to hold the vellum on, until I can, and then you're going to zigzag stitch across the top here. So let me just get this glue on. I can't seem to glue straight today. Okay. That way it'll be held in place when I go to sew it. I am going to excuse myself from not meeting the challenge because I did have to, my timer kept going, but I did pause as I was swapping out from machine to back to creating these because my dogs were so wild. So I just paused turning the video on until then. So actually it probably didn't take me 45 minutes yet. I probably lost some time in there because I did leave my timer going since I wanted to be as close as possible to it. So when the video finishes up, when I finish the video, oh, Roxy, stop scratching. So that was one of my girls, one of my dogs, she's scratching the rug over here. I'm not sure what she's up to, but yeah, so I did have to pause it. So this is probably going to take me just 45 minutes anyway, but we'll see. So let's get these 3 done. So let me get my sewing machine again, and let's just zigzag across the top. Get it plugged in here. Okay, so here we are to the sewing view. So you can see me stitch across the top of these. And I did do a practice stitch, so I just want to see how wide it is so I can make sure I don't go off the edge here. Okay. There we go. And let me trim this and I'll show it to you. Couldn't find my big scissors, so I was using these. So here you can see, let me find the camera, you can see the zigzag across it. So that's, I'm very happy with that. We got those 3 done. So I think those, so if you can see it, I don't know if it'll zoom in with the zigzag. So I just used a small little zigzag stitch. So let me see if I can give you a better view of the zigzag stitch. I don't know if this would be a better view or not. That way you can see the small zigzag stitch that I used. And I used it on all 3. And so now you have your little flap. And then you can stick stuff in your little pockets. And let me see if I have anything I can stick in that little pocket that's small enough for my pocket here. So you can stick something in your little pocket here. And then you've got your little vellum flap there. And you can stick something in that pocket. It's going to be something smaller than that pocket, of course. And so, because it's closer to the top. And same with this one. You stick something there. Or you can stick something right here. So these turned out really cute. I really love these. And I am going to finish making the other ones that are left. I forget how many, 3 more I think was left. And I'm going to finish making those, and I will post a picture of all the finished ones on Instagram and my Facebook, because I doubt that you want to sit through this long of a video as it is, and then for me to continue making them. I'm afraid that the video would be too long and you would get totally bored with it. So I think these are gorgeous though, and if you make these, be sure to use hashtag roxysweeklychallenge so that everyone can see yours, and I can see yours because I follow the hashtag roxysweeklychallenge. I follow that on Instagram, and so that way I get to see everybody else's project. So I finished up those ones that you got to see, and so I decided that I really wanted you to see the other ones after I finished them. So I'm just editing this video to add this in at the end, and so this is not part of the 45 minutes, so I just went ahead and created them without you seeing those made since my 45 minutes was up, but I just wanted you to see them. And this is the one with the larger one with the bigger pockets, and so this is the paper I put on top, and I think it looks so good with the stamped images showing through. I think that really does add to this one. And then this is the one that was the taller one, and it had the roses and stamping on it, and so I used some vellum with roses, I guess I should say, and the paper showing through and everything. I think it looks so gorgeous. And then here are, I think these are you saw these three, and then here's one more you didn't see. So this one was the one that was kind of plain. It was just collage, and then I added this little focal point. And so I put roses on it, and I think it still looks really pretty. And I think that these turned out really good. So now I'm just going to go back, and this one I realize I need to add to some journaling paper, and that will be all. So I just wanted you to be able to see them. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And when you subscribe, be sure to hit that notification bell so you can be notified each time I upload a new video. And thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.